Hi, Kevin Coop here, and this is FaceTime with the Content Guy. I want to share with you an experience that I had recently, which I think is sort of instructive in terms of how companies need to interact with consumers. So last summer, right before I was about to start teaching at Portland State University, my wife, Mrs. Content Guy, got me a new watch. This watch. It's a Timex, and I really like this watch. She could have gotten me something fancier, something more expensive, but that's not what I wanted. I'm not that kind of guy. I was really happy with this Timex. I'd seen it in a store, and she decided to surprise me because she wanted to make a little event out of the fact that I was starting this new and exciting experience. And I've loved it. Wear it almost every day. Now, almost a year later, I'm sort of aware that the leather band on the Timex is getting a little worn. So I decided what I would do is I'd order a couple of replacements. Because I'm a little anal that way. I'm one of those people who likes to have like stacks of light bulbs at home in case one blows. I'm one of those people who, if I find a shirt I like, I'll order several because I like it. I don't want to have to shop anymore, and it's a way of making sure I'll always have them. So I'm a little anal. So I went online to the Timex site, figuring, okay, I'll order a watch band there. Typed in the model number, and no place on there could I order a watch band. In fact, it didn't look like you order watch bands for almost any watch on the Timex site. So then I went on Amazon, I went on Google, and I couldn't figure out a way to do it there either. Well, I found this sort of perplexing. I can't believe it. So I sent an email to Timex. Okay, I must be doing something wrong here. Could you explain to me how I can order a watch band online? And I got an email back from them saying, oh, no, you can't do it online. You got to call this number. Really? So I called the number, and I listened to one of those recordings and stuff like that, and basically the message was, well, if you want to order a watch band, send us a check for the following amount, and tell us what you want, and we'll ship one to you. A check? Really? That's what I have to do? So I hit 0, and I finally ended up connected to this very nice woman. Sounded like a nice elderly woman with a southern drawl. Who basically said, no, listen, if you want, we can do this online, I can charge a credit card. And I said, well, that's really nice, I appreciate it, but let me ask you a question. Can I do this online? I mean, am I not figuring something out here? And she goes, oh, no, you can't do it online. You either have to send us a check, or I'll do it for you right now with your credit card. And I said, really? I said, well, how come? I mean, this is like 2013. And she said in a very sweet voice, she says, well, sir, if you could do it online, I wouldn't have a job. Okay, I have to admit, she had me there. And she seemed like a very nice person, so I didn't want to argue whether it wasn't her fault, so I placed the order. A couple of days later, I get the watch bands. Everything's fine. But I got to tell you, in the end, I was sort of vaguely dissatisfied with the whole experience. But this wasn't the way I want to do business. It's not how I'm used to doing business. So I decided I'm going to call Timex headquarters, because what the heck? I mean, I can't be the only consumer who feels this way, but I am a consumer with a soapbox. I figured, okay, I can get a column out of it. So I called Timex headquarters, asked to be put through the press office, and they basically referred me to a public relations office in New York City. So I called the public relations office. They give me a name. I asked for the name. I left a message. Get a message back saying, oh, I'm sorry, that person is leaving the company. You should talk to this person. This goes back and forth for a while until finally the person that I was supposed to talk to does call me back, get on the phone, and I explained what had happened. And I was curious. Why does Timex in 2013 not have the facility, the option on its website to order something like this online? And she says, well, I don't know, sir. We really don't deal with consumer complaints here. And I said, well, this may be a consumer complaint, but I'm asking the question as a writer. I'm going to do a column about this. Can you find out for me why they don't offer this option? And she sort of grumbled about it, but she said she would. Well, that was more than a week ago. And I haven't heard back. I suspect I'm not going to. But I think the lesson here is very clear. It seems to me that these days especially, there are multiple touch points at which manufacturers and retailers can make connections with consumers, can influence the shopping experience, can make it better, can make it worse, can create loyalty or create disenchantment. All these touch points, and I think it's incumbent on manufacturers and retailers to, first of all, know where they all are and to manage them and nurture them very carefully. Because if you don't do that, If you leave these kinds of vague gaps in the system, what's going to happen is customers are going to fall through. In the fact of the matter, that's what I think happened at Timex, right? I don't think they paid attention. And I think the experience kind of hit the floor with a resounding thud. And it's a thud that in its own way is sort of loud. And I don't think any manufacturer or retailer can afford to let that happen at a time when there's so much competition out there. Anyway, that is what is on my mind this Thursday morning. And as always, I want to hear what's on your mind.